1510 KFNN. Good morning at 6:45. You're listening to Business for Breakfast. Ken Morgan along with CFP Julie Doherty.
Good morning, Ken. Good morning, everyone. Off to a great start in the markets today. The Dow up 125 points, S&P up 13, NASDAQ up 21.
Joining us now is a candidate for the 3rd Congressional District in the U.S. Congress, Mr. Vernon Parker, joining us this morning. How are you, sir?
I am fabulous. How are you?
I'm good. How's the campaign going?
Any better, I'd be sitting in your seat, Ken. I'm telling you, it's going. We are in the driver's seat right now.
Now, of course, you're running for the seat that was vacated by, or is vacating by John Shadegg. And when you have a seat like that becomes vacant, there are a lot of people who show interest right away in it. What do you offer that makes you stand out from the rest?
Well, from the obvious, I'm a little taller than the rest. But other than that, we want to bring back sound fiscal policies to not just to the state of Arizona, but to the entire country. Right now, we have the mentality that we can tax our way into prosperity, and history has shown us that when we reduce taxes, that's when the economy grows. And so I am a staunch anti-tax, pro-business, bring the jobs back to this country. That's the stance that I am taking right now, because we have to do that right now in order to create more jobs.
Mr. Parker, this is Julie Doherty. How does that differ from the John Shadegg, George Bush economic policies? How are you different?
Well, I think, first of all, George Bush and John Shadegg, they're wonderful people. I've worked for George Bush. However, George Bush and John Shadegg, for example, they had a chance to get rid of the death tax. That's double taxation. When people die, their families and their children should not have to endure a death tax.
Right, and most people don't. Isn't that true? It's primarily on the wealthiest people, several $1 million of their estate and above. Those are the only people subject to that, correct?
Well, let me give you an example. I used to be the Assistant Secretary at the United States Department of Agriculture. When someone died, their farms are valued at that high income tax rate. Now, in order for the kids to keep that farm, these are not wealthy people, but their farmland may be valued as wealthy. They have to sell their farms, and that's not right.
Right. Not a big issue here in Arizona, family farms and the estate tax.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's the same thing. I mean, when do we get away from the idea that taxation is a good thing? Because, look, the more money we can put into the hands of small business, for example, the more jobs they can create. And so we have this mentality that if we tax people, we're hurting the rich. No, we're not. We're hurting poor people. Look, the city of Phoenix, for example, 2% sales tax on food. And yesterday, I went out to try to find a brand new car. And the car dealer says, look, we have this new 1% sales tax. That's an 18% sales tax hike. And that would add $300 or $400 more onto the car bill. So we can't have this mentality that we can tax. It's just not going to work. It has not worked historically.
So tell us then, you're in Congress, let's say you're elected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Give us the top 3 things that you would cut that would make a significant dent in our deficit. Give me 3 of them. 2 of them.
2 of them. I'll just start with the first one. First of all, when I worked as an assistant secretary, the first thing that we did is that I didn't do this, but so many people did it. They had a policy that if you didn't spend it, you didn't get it back the following year. Use it or lose it, okay? And you should see the people. And the fiscal year, it ends September 30th. Come June, July, there's a spending spree. People
Would you cut Social Security?
Pardon me?
Would you cut Social Security, Medicare?
No.
Defense spending?
No.
There's not a lot left to cut.
Well, there is a lot left, because you know what? We have to bring transparency back to government. We have to have a zero-based budget type approach where you take a look at your budget and you have to justify every year. That does not occur right now. Now, I'll tell you what. There are agencies that I believe, quite frankly, that shouldn't exist, like the Department of Education. The reality is that we're not going to get rid of it, but the reality is that education should be local. Why are we spending or sending, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars to a bureaucracy like the Department of Education for them to sit up and theorize as to what should happen on a local basis.
Mr. Parker, I am afraid to say we're out of time this morning. I've seen your smiling face smiling at me on the signs around town.
You have to have him come back.
Hey, you guys are awesome. This was fun. Let's do it again, okay?
Yeah, let's do it. Former Mayor of Paradise Valley, Vernon Parker, joining us, and a candidate for the 3rd Congressional District. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.